And welcome back. Welcome back to Shut It. How you doing? How you doing? We have some really good dumb news for you this week. Are you ready for it? New York Post, breaking news. Paris restaurants scamming ignorant tourists for tips ahead of the 2024 Olympics. That's right. Good old Paris. And the tagline is, Je ne sais quoi? Very funny. Ahead of hosting the 2024 Summer Olympic Games, Parisian cafes and brasseries have launched a ploy to con unaware tourists and even locals out of some extra euro. Foreigners coming to the City of Light are, I don't know why they call it the City of Light, Paris. Why do they call it the City of Light? Does anyone know why they call it the City of Light? It's kind of a dark city. It's kind of a cloudy, overcast city. There's not really, I guess through the clouds, there's some light, some hope for these Parisians. We'll get into the Parisians in a minute. Foreigners coming to the City of Light are showing a lack of awareness that tipping culture in France is much different than in the US and in other nations, because there's a legally mandated 15% service charge, and menu prices are often higher to cover the workers' wages. It's called the restaurants pay their workers, and in America, they don't pay their workers, which I never understood. But we'll get into that later. So basically they're saying the tip, you do tip. And for those of you who don't know, I live in France on the border of Switzerland. Nobody tips here. Or if you do, you tip a bit of change. And in Switzerland, you never tip because they're making bank. It's probably an insult to tip in Switzerland. But in France, you leave a little bit because they are getting a wage from their employer, unlike in the US, where the employer doesn't pay the waiters. So basically, there are going to be 15 million tourists this summer in Paris. Don't go to Paris. Watch the Olympics on television. That sounds like a nightmare. Have you been to Paris in the summer? Full of American tourists, and then put on top of that the Olympics? That's like hell on earth. Anyway, French restaurateurs are playing into their international guest ignorance by nudging them to pay forward like they would at a stateside Applebee's. That's right. That's what they're saying. I can't believe it. Yes, I can. If anybody's going to try to scam an American, it's going to be a Parisian. Let's just say that, okay? We're not looked fond on. We're not looked fondly on. We're not fondly looked on. I don't know. How do you say it? Whatever way you say it, they don't like us. Why? I have no idea. I can venture we're probably, because we're free, because we are French, they're probably jealous because they don't, here's the thing. French people love to complain. That should be an Olympic sport. I think they should add that as an Olympic sport because they're in France. They should have a whole sport of French people complaining. Because they win. If they would win, hands down, 1 million medals to be the most complaining country in the world. The people, they invented complaining. That is a fact. Look it up. French people win at complaining. Have you ever pissed off a French person? It's not hard. You just look at them and then they go, qu'est-ce que? Putain. And then they rattle off a lot of insults and they know you don't understand them. And that's what's going to happen this summer. Actually, I think I want to go to Paris just to eavesdrop on the Parisians talking shit about the American tourists. That would be fun. Paris, they say they're notoriously rude, and they are. The waiters, I don't know if they are anymore, but I've been there recently. They're not that rude. It depends. Look, here's where you'll find the rude waiter. You're not going to find the rude waiter at a Parisian restaurant, a corner restaurant with like a neighborhood restaurant. That's not where you're going to find the rude. You're going to find the rude. It's almost like a sport. You're going to find the rude in like the Champs-Élysées at the cafe next to Zara and Primark, and everybody's exhausted from shopping and going to the museums. And you can hear them like, I'm tired, and then the waiter hears that and they're like, oh, I'm going to fuck with some Americans today. And that's who they fuck with. They're not fucking with the Parisians. They are just solely going after tourists, American tourists, and maybe some Brits. And it's going to be in a touristic neighborhood. just packed full of tourists, and they're angry because they aren't on vacation and you're on vacation, and you're, instead of going to a nice little family boutique, you're shopping at a chain fast fashion shop on the Champs-Élysées. You're shopping at Zara, and they're like, wow, these people are gross. Let me mistreat them. And that's why they're just miserable. So you just have to know that going in. And I have a plan to counteract it. I think the most important thing is do not react to their rudeness. What you need to do is you need to double it up. And what do I mean by doubling it up? I mean, if they go low, you go, oh my God, what's your name? Pierre. Pierre, can I take a selfie with you? And you kill them with kindness, and they will hate you for the rest of their lives. They'll remember you forever. You're gonna traumatize them. You have to double it up. Double up the nice Americanness. You can't just be like, oh wow, that waiter was so rude. Maybe I should, not, talk to him. No, you want to turn up the volume, and you want to say, oh my God, Paris is a magical place. You got to say magical. You got to use those words. You got to say, oh my God, I love it here. I think I could live here. Say that about 2 or 3 times to say Pierre. And Pierre, here, give them your phone number. Give them your address. Give them your email address. Show them pictures of your home, wherever you're from. And maybe you're from Colorado or Florida. Say, Pierre. Pierre, we love you. Next time you're in America, please come and visit us, and you can stay in our house. That'll piss off a Parisian on a level that I don't think you need to be so positive and upbeat and American and sort of like dumb, but in like a nice way, where Pierre looks like the asshole. No matter what the situation, if he complains or says curse words under his breath to you, everybody's looking and seeing how nice you are to Pierre and how you're inviting him to come send Thanksgiving. You don't have Thanksgiving in France, do you? Pierre, you have to, I do a candied corn casserole dish with turkey and stuffing. And Pierre, it's not like what we're having now. It's not like the foie gras and the Margrethe canard, but it is similar. It's very similar to the canard, the duck, orange. How do you say it? You say it orange or orange? Oh my God, Pierre, you're going to love it. Maybe I'll put some orange in the turkey this year if you come and visit us. And he'll hate your guts. He might even quit on the spot. I'm venturing. He's probably going to quit. He's probably going to be like, putain. I am quitting this stupid job. I fucking hate Americans. And you win. You win. Good job, America. We're number 1. This is going to be a train wreck. I'm just saying. This whole Olympics in Paris, it goes against every fiber of what Parisians are. They don't want to have, they want the money. So I think people are renting out, and I know for a fact they're renting out their little shitty French non-air conditioned apartments for like thousands of dollars a night because they know Americans just want to be in Paris for the Olympics, and they'll pay the price. They will. And then you have President Macron, who's making the Olympic swimmers swim in the Seine River. Disgusting. That's good. I'm going to watch that on television. Okay, so maybe there is some hope. There is some joy. See, they're the most miserable people in the world, Parisians. I don't know if a lot of you go there. I know. Oh, but I was there before. It's so beautiful. It is beautiful. It's the most beautiful city in the world and the most miserable motherfuckers you'll ever meet in the world. These are facts. They added that restaurant owners are apprehensive that tourists will be lodging outside of city limits or will cut costs by eating French-loved American fast food. They also worry. They're worried that people are going to go to McDonald's, and so that's why they're going to make them tip. That doesn't even make any sense. They're also worried people won't eat out when they watch the games this summer. London restaurants suffered in a dip of business during the 2012 games. In response, the Paris food scene is taking a s'il vous plaît from American Arena tablet-style guilt tipping with preset lofty options. Oh, right. So when you go to the U.S. to order a coffee at a coffee shop, you can say, do you want to leave a 10% tip, a 20% tip, or a 30% tip? And I usually leave a 10% tip, but I don't know. I've been shocked in the past when I've seen waiters asking foreigners for tips, added Francois, a 55-year-old television producer. But restaurants aren't differentiating foreign from local, and it's a major faux pas, he said. He didn't say that. They're making this up. French people don't talk like that. They don't use American French words. They were just taking advantage. Let's do it in a French accent, shall we? They were just taking advantage of. That's not a French accent. All right. They were just taking advantage of him because they didn't know that this service is included. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. I can't do that to you lovely people out there. Please like and subscribe, and I will continue to not do accents for you if you like and subscribe. Okay. They were just taking advantage of them because they didn't know that service is included here. That's bad enough, but it's scandalous that they're doing it to us too. Okay, so now Francois is pissed off because they're making the Frenchies pay an extra tip too. What do you guys think? Are you coming to France? Are you coming to Paris for the Olympics? Do you have a trust fund? Where are you staying? Which arrondissement are you staying at? Are you staying at the 15th, the 13th, the 12th? The second, if you are going to Paris, which Olympic sport are you most excited about? I would be most excited to just see French people smile. I think they're going to smile when they rent out their apartment for like $10,000 a night. Like I said, in Paris, the Parisian people, most of them aren't from Paris. Most of them think they're better than you. And most of them are assholes. No, they're not assholes. If anybody's watching me from Paris, désolé. That's French for sorry. Désolé, I am stereotyping. But you Parisians are kind of proud of your snootiness. So I remember a long time ago, I'm going to say late 90s, early 2000s, late 90s. I went to Paris by myself because I don't know why. I just said, you know what? I'm going to go to Paris. And I went to all the museums. I was working, what was I doing? I was doing comedy and I had money. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go to Paris. I'm going to see the sights. And I went there. And I think it was like during Fashion Week or something. Anyway, I went to all the museums. I tried to get a hotel. I tried to get a nice hotel, a boutique hotel in Paris, and I was refused. I had all this cash, and they wouldn't even talk to me. And I tried. I tried to eat at a restaurant. They wouldn't serve me. They wouldn't seat me. So I ended up I went to Moroccan restaurants, and I had couscous pretty much every night. I had couscous, and they welcomed me. Oh, they saw me walk in. They were like, oh, bonjour, madame, madame, assez, sit. And I was treated like a queen. And I ate Moroccan, Middle Eastern food for the entire trip. And I stayed at a youth hostel because I couldn't get a hotel. I had all this money. Well, maybe I should have, booked it online, but I didn't. And I just walked up to the hotel and they said, pas possible. That's not possible. Pas possible. I heard pas possible, not possible, multiple times. In every interaction. It was pas possible, madame. Pas possible. And I cried. It was the most horrific experience, just interacting with people. Most beautiful experience going to the museums, going to see the beautiful architecture. That was a great experience. But the interaction with the French people was horrible. It was très horrible. And anyway, I'm shitting on the French. Anyway, ironically, I ended up marrying a French person. Isn't that funny? It's true. I went to France even before I met him, and that's a crazy story. But see, I'm an optimist. Americans are optimistic people. Even though I had a bad experience with French people, I still gave my husband the benefit of the doubt, and I married him. So, that worked out well. But yeah, the French people, they're a special, they're exquisite piece of, they're lofty people. That's a very nice way of putting they think they're better than you. And maybe they are better than us. Maybe they are. Maybe they have, they've been through the resistance. They've seen some shit. They've been through wars. They're also colonizers, which is why I ate a lot of Middle Eastern food while I was there. But I mean, I'm not trying to, it wasn't Middle East. It's North African food. What am I talking about? I ate Moroccan food. So yeah, that's not Middle Eastern. That's North African. Sorry. Look, I'm a stereotype. And this is why the French hate us. They hate us because we're dummies. And we call Moroccan food Middle Eastern food when it's clearly not. It's North African. We've all failed in geography. I know. But no, what are you guys going to do? Are you going to go to the Olympics? I think you should. If you have tickets and if you have a friend that you can stay in their apartment. I have a friend who has an apartment in Paris. He's been renting for a very long time. And all of a sudden, the owner of the apartment was like, oh, we need to take the apartment back. And he was like, why? Why are you taking the apartment back? And the owner said, oh, because we want to be closer to our parents, our elderly parents. And I go, oh, that's a coincidence. It just so happens to be the summer of the Olympics. And my friend, who is very optimistic, not a very Parisian quality. He's not from Paris. He's actually Swiss. But he said, no, I believe him. I think they really had to move back in. And I'm like, I don't think so. I think they're going to double the price for your apartment. And he's like, no. And I'm like, yeah. But maybe they're not. Maybe they have elderly parents and they want to be closer to them during the Olympics. Anyway, he's out of an apartment. Are you guys going to go to the Olympics? If you are going to go to the Olympics, tell me what your favorite sport is. I love the gymnastics and I love the swimming and the fast skiing. Well, that's not going to happen this Paris. I'm going to definitely see the swimming in the river. Have you been there? It's disgusting. People spit, they pee, late night Parisians, they take pisses in the Seine. But Macron says he's going to clean it out. He says he's going to clean out the Seine and make the Olympic swimmers do their competition in the disgusting river. I don't know. To me, that's like the equivalent of like having the Olympics in the Gowanus Canal in Brooklyn. Like you'd find dead bodies in that river. Do you know what I mean? It's not a clean. Look, I'll show you pictures. I'm going to put some pictures up. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, I was just reading this New York Times article, and I just saw that for years they've been planning this Olympic Seine thing. And so for years, engineers have been putting pumps in the Seine, trying to get the flow back in the river to pump out all the bacteria that's in there and making it swimmable. And they asked, do we have 100% guarantee? The answer is no, said Pierre Rabadin, the deputy mayor heading the city Olympic plans. It's not going to be ready. He's basically saying, if it rains for a week continually before the races, we know the quality of the water, even with all the work that has been done, probably won't be excellent. It's going to be disgusting. And I'm not looking forward to saying, hey, it's going to be disgusting. I don't want it to be disgusting. I want it to be nice and clean so people don't get sick. And that's what I'm worried about. I think it's a bad idea. There's like in the 90s, the article goes on and says it used to be swimmable until the 1990s, and that's where they dumped all the sewage. It's 2024, and we're going to, I don't know, automatically just, hope it's okay because you put a bunch of pipes down in the bottom to get the bacteria out.